Hello and welcome to a special edition of CT Sports Now. It is actually time to present the New Haven Register all-state team. And so joining us here along with Mark Robbins, who you always see, Sean Patrick Boley, who you almost always see. This is it. We've gone through the whole high school football season, and now you and your colleague there at the New Haven Register, Mike Pucci, are tasked with taking the best players at the different positions. And boy, what a job you guys had to do to go through and pick out the top men. It
is one of my favorite and also one of my most stressful times of the year. It's a matter of pride. I want to get this thing so correct. I want to be right on the nose. I want it for perfectly people to look at it and go, yes, those are the best 26 players in the state. And they never do. And you chase that elusive goal. There's always going to be some discrepancies. There's always going to be some kid you left off that you really, really wanted to leave on. But we banged our heads together. We thought we came up with the best guys we saw all year.
Well, we are proud to be partnering with the Register and Game Time CT to be presenting this. You guys do a phenomenal job covering all the games. And to be able to put a team like this together, you got to get to all the games.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's been 3 months of coverage for football for you guys and for us as well. And now we talk about the best of the best. I want to ask you real quickly, was there a group, one side of the ball that was maybe more difficult to make the determinations as a group than the other?
Not specifically a side of the ball, but mostly it's who are some of the best skill players you got. And pretty much you have an idea who the best linemen are. Give or take. Usually we went down, I could pick 4 off the top of my head. I thought they were going to be first-team players. Then you looked at some of the kids who are, receivers and running backs and linebackers. I mean, a big part of this team is, did you play both ways? It's high school, and if you played both ways and you excelled both ways, it's a really good shot that you're going to make first team. If you only played one way, it's really tough to pick you over another guy who maybe played both ways.
The way we're doing this here now is we're going to start with the offense. So our first show will be the offensive players. Our next show will be the defense. So let's get going. You talked about skill players earlier. Let's start with the receivers. Sean, we put these in alphabetical order so that nobody gets the feeling that we're showing preference to anybody. Our first wide receiver, kid out of St. Joseph.
Yeah, Jared Malazzi, I thought had the best season, best starting debut season that I've seen. He's a junior. He caught every ball that went his way. And he was just amazing for St. Joe. He was maybe one of the prime reasons, if not the prime reason, that St. Joseph went to play for another state championship this season.
Let's see some of his work.
Number 3, Jared Malazzi.
Just a small sample of what this kid was all about.
He's keep feeding me, and just a junior, so he's got a chance to be a two-timer.
Yeah, I mean, he was a defensive back last year, and then they moved him to receiver because they needed the spot. He caught 100 passes. He for 1,500 yards, which is 15 yards. Because he made 100 seemingly one-handed catches. You didn't have any on that reel. He accounted for about 40% of St. Joseph's offense, and it was a pitch and catch deal between him and the quarterback, Corey Babno. I mean, the St. Joe coaches said they've never had a kid like this. I mean, just completely dominate from start to finish. He was just phenomenal this season, and he appears as one of our first wide receivers. He's also kind of a flex player position on our team.
Well, we talk about guys who are flex, guys who are just tremendous football players. Our next guy, Nico Reganey, is one of those guys. I mean, he's just a great football player.
Yeah, I mean, Nico is a 3-time New Haven Register All-State selection. He was our male athlete of the year last year. And listen, this is a kid who just does everything. It's not just his wide receiver abilities, it's his abilities as a punt returner and as a defensive back. He made it as a defensive back the last 2 seasons. And now finally we get him into his natural position at wide receiver on our All-State team.
Nico Reganey from Chris the Lion.
We could have spent the whole show just showing Nico Reganey
Yes.
highlights.
Yeah.
And you know what's funny, what's funny, peculiar, is he's a 3-time All-State performer, yet I know he and certainly Tom Marcucci, his coach, feels he's being under-recruited as a college football player. I know Tom firmly believes he's a Division I-A player, and I think we're going to see those schools coming in a little bit later in the process on him.
Yeah, he can just do it all. I mean, he also plays lacrosse, really does really well. His senior season at Notre Dame, 59 catches for almost 1,000 yards. He had 6 TDs. Kind of got off to a little bit of a slow start in that regard, and because they were changing new quarterbacks and then new players all. But overall, all on defense, 41 tackles and 1,500 yards all-purpose and 13 touchdowns. He was just amazing, and he basically led him to the state semifinals.
He's one of those players when you're watching the game, you go, wow, this kid.
Yeah, he
out.
passes the eye test.
Yes.
He may not pass it when you walk him by him on the field, but when he starts, when the lights are on, he starts playing. He is tremendous.
All right, our next receiver, a young man out of Bloomfield, Russell Thompson Bishop.
Yeah, Russell Thompson Bishop, he kind of got onto our radar last year during the Bloomfield's run to the Class S state championship. He's going to Syracuse, and you know what they've been doing with receivers at Syracuse. If you don't know, they were one of the leading teams in the nation, pride to my alma mater. But Russell Thompson, he's just a big target, and he kind of just does it all. He's a great-looking receiver.
Go get it.
I love winning. There's nothing I hate more than losing. And just playing with Bloomfield in all sports, I mean, we win a lot, and I don't want to ever have that change for my school.
And it should be noted, a smart kid too, recruited by Yale, recruited by Harvard.
Didn't play football until the 8th grade. First time he ever played was a soccer player until they, in Bloomfield, when you move to Bloomfield from Florida, you learn to play football pretty quick.
Yeah.
No, the Florida players are usually pretty good, and he fit right in there. I mean, he had 41 catches for 886 yards, which is an average of 21 yards per catch and 13 touchdowns. Bloomfield didn't get past the semifinal. What was it? The quarterfinals actually this year. And but you know he's been a tremendous 2-year receiver or 3-year receiver for them. Just a good-looking kid, and he was a second teamer last year. Now he kind of bumps up natural progression to the first team.
All right, we're going to move now from the wide receiver position. We got to find a place for the place kicker.
Yeah.
Mike Oresco.
He was a really amazing kicker all year. I mean, out of Middletown. We kind of got an idea about what he was about when I think he had 4 field goals in one game, including a 50. What was it? I think it was tied the state record, a 52-yarder. I mean, there was no way he was not making first team after that. I mean, you know, and it's high school. It's really tough to make a lot of kicks. There was one kick he didn't make toward the end of the year, but you know what? A guy who can kick a 52-yarder or whatever it was, he's always got a spot on our team. He only missed 1 or 2 field goals all year.
That was
Mike Oresco.
Yeah,
he had another year to do it.
Yeah, he's a junior. He's only one of a few juniors on the team.
He's writing his own ticket.
Yeah, no, exactly. Listen, he made 52, 56 extra points. He was 12 of 10, which was tied with Joe Zoppi, who's going to be on our second team, for field goals in a career, or not career, for a season. So, it was pretty much a no-brainer to put Mr. Oresco on.
We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we're going over the big fellas, the big uglies in the trenches, the offensive line, here with the New Haven Register All-State team. Stick around. We'll be right back.